Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's time trial guide. I'm going to be giving you some advice on how to get a gold time on this week's Gran Turismo 7 time trial. I'm not an expert driver. My disclaimer here is this is an idiot's guide. So you are free to go and watch guides from better drivers. There are many out there on YouTube who can do faster laps than mine, but you might not be able to achieve the same lap times as them. So what I'm hoping to show you here is an achievable way of getting gold, and I'll show you some tips and tricks. Another disclaimer, I am using a steering wheel. I have traction control disabled, and I have all of the other driving assist disabled except for ABS, which is set to its default setting like most people drive with on Gran Turismo. So without further ado, we are going to go to the onboard view, because this is the one that I personally race with, which is this one, and we will go through the lap, and then I'll replay the lap at full speed so that you get a feeling of how I chain the lap together. And here we go. Actually, just before we start, I'm doing this in one take, so I realised I forgot to just mention the car and the tyres for this week's time trial. So we're in an old Japanese Grand Touring car. Last week we were in a Super GT car. We're in the same class of car, but much older. This is a Toyota Supra that dates back from the, I think the 90s, the late 90s. Really cool car. Here you go, you can see it. And real classic car. It's been in Gran Turismo for a long time, and it's on the racing hard tyres, which is going to prove a challenge for getting the power down, particularly along some of the bumps on this track. So I'll call those bumps out as we go over them. And let's switch through the cameras again, and this time we'll actually get started. So the first things first is that you can't take the first corner fully flat, in my opinion. I don't know if the pros are doing that, but I just have this gentle lift. I actually dabbed the brakes on this particular lap. I don't think you need to dab the brakes per se, but I was just being a bit safe here. And you want to aim for this big yellow curb and try and cut a lot of it. But if you cut all of it, if you get your wheels beyond the white line on the right, it will invalidate your time. It's really strict on this track limits here. So just try and clip across like I have here. And then you'll feel that the car's maybe a bit unstable just there. You saw that the car bounced a little bit. So you will have to try and gather it up. And try and cut across this. You can be a lot cheekier on track limits on this. You see here, at this point, if I go here, I am almost off the track, but it still counts. The game doesn't take this one off you, so go for it. Use as much of the track limits. This was entirely deliberate, because what we want to do now is straighten out the run down to this line here, to this corner here. If you're on the far side of the track round here, then you can get around there just with a tiny little lift. Braking just as we come into the tunnel entrance, keep to the left, short shift into fourth gear. Okay, the car has very, very little traction, and this undulation here, you see this goes over the crest of a hill, this will spin your car out. You will be seeing that barrier quite often if you push the car too hard through this corner. So you just want to short shift into fourth gear and try and keep the car moving forwards as much as possible, sideways as little as possible. Then I'm braking, well, say if you're braking at that sign, you're braking too late. You just want to be sort of like a car length in front of that sign, and then sweep across. You really, really need to aim to touch that curb. If you're not touching that curb, there's no way you're going to be able to get the power down without hitting the barrier on the outside. So I was just hesitant before I got to full power here, and then run it around the outside. This corner, my advice, I stuck it in fourth gear and tried to just follow the inside as much as possible, because what you really want to do is prioritise this corner. This corner is followed by a long straight. Get on the power as early as possible, go across that hatching, try and get on the power as soon as you can. So the corner before that, you want to sacrifice that, to try and get a smooth line through that corner, because that's the one that leads on to this very long straight. And we're coming down here now, and my usual braking marker is this turning sign. Just keep it to the inside, short shift, and then moderate the power so that you can keep on the power all the way until the corner exit. These two corners here, I was just easing off the accelerator round the left part of the kink there, because I want the car braking in a straight line for this next right-hander. Okay. And then riding onto that yellow curve very briefly, let the car run out on the power as soon as possible. And then just down to third, use that little bit of yellow again, smooth on the power. It looks easy, but trust me, it's not. And now the most fiddly corner on the track, right at the end. This first bit's not too bad, just go down the gears, and what I tried to do here is keep to the left rather than to the right. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it, that you're about to go right, so you want to stay to the left, otherwise it's going to be too tight. But most people will underestimate this. You want to stay really far to the left. It's worth losing a tiny little bit of time keeping this car to the left. I'm still pointing left here, even though it's a right-hander, and it's simply because you need the turning circle. The car doesn't want to turn to that sort of radius. So we're in third gear, clip that little thing there, and then on the power as smooth as possible, and down the straight, and this should be good enough for a gold. There you go, that time is enough for gold, and we're just going to replay the lap now at full speed, just so you get a feeling of how it all looks chained together. Clip the curb, abuse the track limits, tiny little lift, on the power, brake through the tunnel, then short shift to fourth, on the power again, not full power, only get to full power after the crest, down into third, hug that inside, touch that curb there, full power again, and then just dab the brakes there, not full braking, just dab them. Try and get on the power out of this corner as soon as possible. I probably did a bad job of that. That's probably where the pros are all gaining the time on me. And now go make a cup of tea, because this is a very long straight. Not much to do down here. Maybe pick your nose. Brake at that sign. Keep it tight to the inside, fourth gear early, and then all about the corner exit. Just try and keep the car moving forwards. Just a little bobble off the accelerator there. I think the corner entry there was a bit of a mistake from me. And then sweep across, use that yellow curb. Don't use too much of it though. Don't ask me where the braking marker is for this corner. I guess it's where that dirt is on the wall, but I just do it by feel, to be honest. And then just see how gentle I was with the accelerator there. If you're struggling with that, then just do the track with traction control on 1 instead. You might lose a bit of speed in the high-speed corners with traction control on, but at least you won't have to worry about the car spinning out. But there you go, that is the guide through the lap. I hope you thought that was helpful, and I'll upload another video later if I do improve my time. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week's guide. God knows where we'll be, but I will be uploading it next week. So thanks for joining. I'll see you in the next one.